You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. On this podcast, we explore topics of interest for professionals at this intersection of public health and entrepreneurship. I'm Dr. Huntley, and I'm thrilled that you've decided to join me on this episode. Now, I'm a public health entrepreneur with well over 20 years of experience in public health and healthcare, and I've supported many entrepreneurs along the way. I've also been podcasting since 2017. Today's episode will be helpful, I think, for you regardless of where you are and whatever stage of business that you're in, whether you are exploring ideas and just getting started, or if you're an established business owner. I think you'll be able to pull some value from what I'm going to share with you on this episode. My focus and my topic right now is on niching down and gaining clarity. So niching down will help you gain clarity. So again, whether you're at the beginning stages of your business, just trying to get started, or you are established business owner, this is a topic that is important to reflect over and review, I think, often. So let me just share a little bit around my guidance, maybe some tips for you on being able to do this. The first thing I will say in terms of niching down and helping you with clarity is identifying who. We're going to talk about, just so you know, who, what, and why. So let's start with who. Who are you most interested in, most drawn to? And when I say who, I'm really thinking about populations, target populations. Let's niche it down. You could say everybody everywhere, because we think of public health, it's populations of people everywhere, but really starting to niche down. What populations are near and dear to your heart? What captures your attention most often? What are you drawn to in projects first, in research or activities? Is it the population of elderly people, men and women? Is it children? Is it a group? Is it women's health? Is it men's health? It could be LGBTQ plus. If we got even more specific about these populations, maybe it's a population of people who live in a certain geographic area that niches down even further. So if we think of women or men or children or elderly, if we start thinking about geographic areas, then that certainly creates a niche. If it's by country, so any of those population ideas, if you think about United States versus France or versus Germany or versus a smaller country, Bahamas, all of those populations then become very niche because the needs and the challenges are going to be very different from all of these different countries. Now, if you were to go even further, and maybe it's a niche area, a specific area within a country. So here in the United States, I think of the southeastern region of the country, the population, let's just say we chose children in the southeastern part of the United States may have very different experiences and challenges compared to children in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest part of the country. Now, when you start thinking about that, in my mind, I'm thinking about all the different things that could factor in and make that so different. Weather challenges, natural disasters out west in California, for example, the children may be impacted by wildfires more frequently and may never have really experienced a hurricane compared to children in the southeast of the United States, where hurricanes happen frequently and we rarely have wildfires compared to California. So I'm giving these examples just to put into context of how we can niche down who we care about or who we are more drawn to. It's not that the others are not important, but in terms of trying to get your business off the ground, or if you're operating and you're really slammed and you're rolling, how are you going to niche down to a target population to serve to not only from helping you be more premium, but helping you be more relatable, referable. And when people are looking for services, they want that specialist. If you have a problem with your heart, you don't want to necessarily go to the general practitioner. You want to get in front of a cardiologist, a specialist. So our clients are looking for someone with this special expertise in this niche population or area. So that makes you highly referable and it helps you to attract business. So niching down by population or who you care about is really helpful. So sometimes it's a matter of taking some time to really identify who that is. And especially if you're getting started, it's one thing. You can sit down and brainstorm and work through that and start thinking about what captures your attention the most and think about your past and work that you've done and where your interests are. If you've already established and you're really, really busy, you just need to set some time aside to think about that and to look at who you're working with already and who you've been working with, say, in the last 6 months or the last year, and decide, do I want more of this or do I want to niche to a certain area? Maybe you've got a large population that you're serving and maybe you want to niche down a little bit more. So I know another thing that comes to mind is sometimes people niche down by areas. So for example, I know someone who niches by rural communities, which is a whole set of challenges that are different than urban communities. So thinking about the population and how who you want to serve the most. And again, it doesn't mean that the others aren't important. I think it's just a matter of deciding what captures your attention the most. What are you already drawn to lead toward this more meaningful work, the work that, you're more excited about showing up for because it's already capturing your attention. Okay. So the next thing I'd like for you to think about in niching is identifying what the issue is that you are most drawn to or you're most inspired to address. So that's the what part of it. So the what could be a disease, like maybe diabetes or cardiovascular disease or a type of cancer. What could be another type of condition or issue that's impacting health of population. So it may be violence prevention, or it may be addressing these, natural disasters, like I was saying, preparedness for natural disasters. The what may look very different from person to person. It could be our environmental type of an issue. It could be, like I said, a disease, a condition, but it's not limited to a disease. But what are the topics that you are most drawn to that are impacting health of populations? It could be racism. It could be anything that's affecting the health of a population that you care about. So what is it that captures your attention? Identifying what and niching down by what is important, because that, again, helps you to become more of the subject matter expert. It helps you to be more relatable, and your clients feel like, okay, well, this person can serve. This company can help us because they are really speaking. They specialize in this area that we have this challenge with. So thinking about how you're identifying the what, the issue that's affecting the health of the populations of people that you care about. And then the other part of this third part of this is why. This is really important because you have to remind yourself, this is your business. This is the business of your dreams that you get to create. It may not start out like the business of your dreams, but you're working toward creating this business of your dreams, meaning you get to address the issues, the challenges, you get to serve in the areas that you care most about, that matter most to you. It doesn't mean that every bit of work that you do is so exciting and thrilling. It just means that it's meaningful. It's the thing that we're all servants in this, under this public health umbrella. We want to serve. That's why we're in this industry. So this business that you're creating gives you the opportunity to serve in a way that aligns with what matters most to you. So when you think about identifying why, that helps you get connected to this meaningful, heart-centered work. So when I mean why, if you think about, go back to the population who, if you're thinking about, well, I'm going to focus on women health issues. Maybe it's endometriosis. And you think, why? answer the why. You don't have to tell everyone else the why. It may naturally come up, but why do you care most about this? Well, I had an aunt that really suffered and my mother suffered and they didn't understand what was happening and they had a lot of challenges trying to get diagnosed and it just felt like so much time was lost and they had so much confusion added on to the pain. And I really care about making this better, improving this for people. That's it. That's the why. That's what's going to get you going and have you talking to people and reaching out and connecting. Or maybe sometimes your why is very personal because it happened to you and you had to advocate for yourself. It's a challenge that you're working with or that you've wrestled with and you decided this is important to you. Your why is because it was you. You were that person at one stage. So whatever it is that you select on the population and the what, the condition. Oftentimes when I started out with this interest in diabetes was because of my own journey with diabetes. So think about what your why is when you think about who you're serving, who you want to niche down to serving, and what you want to niche down and answer for yourself the why. And gaining clarity on these areas can help you decide when to say yes and when to say no, when opportunities arise and where you need to show up. It can help you with guiding your business, whether you're just getting started or whether you are already operating fully and you need to niche down for the sake of leveling up your business. Answering these questions again can help you really hone in on that clarity and that focus and really ultimately help you developing and creating this business that you will be so excited about, but also doing work that feels meaningful and fulfilling for you. Now, the bonus part of that is if you're able to combine who and what, then that's amazing. So if you're able to combine who, if your target area is women in maybe the southeastern region of the United States, and the what is diabetes, then when you put those together, then that's a very powerful move because the challenges of women who have diabetes in the southeastern part of the United States are very different than other parts of the country and other countries. So that's a really powerful niche if you're able to combine. Sometimes you cannot combine who you care most about in that and what the issue is that you also care most about. And that's okay. Don't try to force them together. But if you're able to combine, then that's just sort of a bonus feeling there. But I would, if you're just getting started, like I said, wrestle around with this and see about finding that niche because when people are first getting started, they want to be doing, well, I can serve everybody everywhere and I can do all the things. And you might be able to do a lot of things, but I encourage you to niche down and use these talking points that I've shared to help you do so. All of this helps you in staying focused and doing this work that's really meaningful and having the impact that you desire to have through this business that you're creating. In addition to all of that, you're making it so much easier to attract a community of people who will be also interested in the same thing and ultimately attracting those people that could potentially be your next clients. They may come closer to you in your community because they like what you share and there's interest, but sometimes they can refer business to you or they become a client at some point. So it's just a great way to start and to refresh and renew every so often, going back through this exercise of niching down, because you may niche down and then decide, a couple of years later, you may niche down differently. That happened for me, as a matter of fact. It happens quite often. You start one way, and after you experience different things in your business, you niche down a little bit more, and then sometimes you pivot and you niche down. And this is an exercise that really never expires. So you can listen to this episode again at any time. And it's a very good one to help you kind of reassess. Or if you took notes, you can revisit these notes 6 months from now or a year from now and just recenter where you're niching down. Okay? As I wrap up this episode, I'd like to ask you to help us spread the word about this podcast. You can share directly from the podcast app that you're listening in right now. You can also share our website with a friend. Our website is publichealthentrepreneurs.com, and that's entrepreneurs with an S. And then you can also share by writing a favorable review in Apple Podcasts. That helps other people who are discovering our show decide, oh, maybe I'll check it out because people are writing good reviews about this. We greatly appreciate whichever option you choose. Just appreciate you sharing this podcast and helping us spread the word about this resource. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.